All right, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about something that happened in West Virginia last week. This is interesting because in the light of everything that's going on with mass shootings and the commotion with that, with gun control and all of that argument, and the tragedy of the kids that were killed in that horrible, horrible incident, people failed to see the other side. At the end of the day, if you want to say guns kill, which they don't, then you have to say that guns save lives, which means they actually cancel each other out. What happens is people are the ones who take lives, and people are also the ones who save lives most of the time with guns. And in this particular case, a West Virginia woman fatally shoots a gunman who opened fire on a party of guests. This was a graduation party. And this is something that you probably haven't heard much about. And I wonder why. Well, the picture of the gentleman that I've seen, and I won't put the picture up I have here because I'm not sure if that's actually the person, but I have verified that this person who was killed, who was allegedly firing this weapon, his name is Dennીઝ Vutler, is a black guy. Okay? He's a black dude. Why is that important? Kyle, why are you bringing it up? You're talking about woke identity politics. I'm bringing it up because that's what they do. I am counteracting the narrative from the left of white people, white supremacy, which we'll get into that in our next video here coming up, is the issue. And it's not the issue. The issue is the human spirit, the human heart, the human condition of sinfulness and mental illness, which some will say is related. And so in this case, this person was at an outdoor party in West Virginia, this person, Dennીઝ Vutler, and he opened fire into a crowd of guests. This is last Wednesday. This woman, I do not believe that they released her name yet. She fatally shot the perpetrator, who again, name is Dennીઝ Vutler, after he began shooting at dozens of people gathered for a birthday party graduation outside an apartment complex in Charleston, West Virginia. This is coming from a police statement. A quote from Detective Tony Hazlitt said this. He said, quote, "Instead of running from the threat, she engaged with the threat and saved several lives last night," unquote. I'm going to read that again. Instead of running from the threat, she engaged with the threat and saved several lives last night. And that's really what we're talking about here, is that the only way to stop a person with a gun is with something with at least as much power as a gun or more. Most people who have concealed carries are the ones who are around and among us. They have gone through a vetting. They have been background checked. They have been trained on how to use this. And these are the people, and this isn't the first time. This hundreds of times where you have a person who is on the scene of a crime. The masses are being victimized by a person with a weapon, and the person who typically is in the minority with the concealed carry uses deadly force to save the group, the crowd. What we saw in Texas, and the reports, I'm not going to get into some of the details because I don't want to say anything improperly, but it was a long time between the initial shot and the time the killer was killed. And we could talk about all sorts of things. Should the cops have gone in earlier? Had the teachers been armed? Should the person who opened the door be prosecuted? A lot of different things. But it is safe to say that if a good guy had presented themselves with a gun to that person earlier, things may have been different. Now, I know some people would say that 2 officers were killed on the line of duty there, which I don't know. I mean, I think that's true. Maybe that is true. But it does give the kids a chance. When you wait a long period of time, for whatever reason, maybe it's a barricade situation or not, which, by the way, the Texas, I think the department said that they were wrong on that. I believe that's right. Then that's one thing. But still, the point is that if a person who had a gun was next to that person, they could have taken the whole thing out immediately. So you have to have something to take a person out who has that kind of weapon. And this is something that the left doesn't want to talk about. That people need or want guns because they feel they can use them to protect themselves, their family, their loved ones, their homes, their property, and all of that. And that is why gun sales go through the roof. It's also why, typically speaking, gun legislation tends to either be neutral or lessened after a shooting like this, because the Democrats don't really want to go that route because they split their base, because many Democrats love guns and they don't want their rights being taken from them. And so their base is split, and Republicans are almost 100% pro Second Amendment. And so they're going to push for lesser laws, or for more lesser laws, and for the ability for more people to have access to them legally and to protect themselves, because people are clamoring, I need help protecting myself, whatever. And so that's what ends up happening. And so they know that, but they don't care. They want to inflame, they want to incite, and they want to get people to the polls because they don't have much more to talk about, because the issues that they stand on are horrible. And that is my thoughts on that. So what are your thoughts on the shooting of this person, Mr. Vutler, who allegedly was shooting into a crowd, dozens of people, and was taken out by a woman with a legal license and a legal concealed carry, saving the lives of several people that night, according to Chief of Detectives Tony Hazlitt. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you think. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.